Olympic champion, I've dreamed of this moment so many times before.
Yeah, it's time for us to pick the best sporting moments of the last decade. Today we have quite the lineup. This is the last round of 16 that we have. Two more. Penultimate round of last 16 we have. So here's the draw so far. It is Shane Long and the O'Donovan brothers are through. Shane Lowry and the Le Drop from Johnny Sexton are through on one side. It's Robbie Brady and Lar Tip 2010. The hat-trick beat Dean Rock and the Dubs. Didn't mobilise the Dubs fans enough. So today we have Katie Taylor versus Leinster winning the Heineken Cup in 2011.
Yeah, Katie Taylor may as well stop the segment now. Like Leinster don't stand a pair in this department.
Well, let's have a look. Here's Leinster.
A choice. Pete, you are right. They have to stand up now. Now is the time for them to rise to the occasion.
Well, Joe Schmidt gets paid a lot of money to coach Leinster. Since his arrival in Leinster, he's done an absolutely wonderful job. But what a conundrum he has at his disposal now, because at half-time in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, live on News Talk Sports Saturday, Leinster trail Northampton by 22 points to 6.
Leinster throwing everything they've got here at Northampton to get this first score of the second half, which they do. Johnny Sexton, they're back in the game.
Sean O'Brien looking for his third try in the Heineken Cup this season. One of the Leinster players is over, and Roman Quad is awarded the try. It's a fifth try this afternoon. It's a third for Leinster, and this Heineken Cup final has been ripped open by the team looking for their second title in 3 years.
The world, I can tell you, this is one of the most extraordinary games of rugby. Delighted you're all listening.
All Leinster need to do is grab the ball, stick it into the stands, and they'll be kings of Europe for the second time. Madigan is doing exactly that, and he leaps into the air, and Leinster are the Heineken Cup champions for 2011 after arguably one of the greatest final comebacks ever seen on a rugby field.
I mean, it is one of the greatest final comebacks ever seen. Mm-hmm. And kind of in any sport. They were getting absolutely hammered.
Seriously, like, of course, it was great on its own, but then there is this.
They're up against Katie Taylor.
Your lightweight 60-kilogram final!
And in the red corner, representing Ireland, Katie Taylor! Seconds out, round one.
Yeah, so let's have a look at some of the headlines from Katie Taylor. Obviously, the case for her is the gold medal in 2012, the emotion of winning in London, darling of the public, and then obviously, I mean, it's not really about the whole decade, but she has had a fairly stellar professional career as well. So fairly straightforward from Kevin Mitchell at the Excel Arena. Katie Taylor wins Ireland's first gold medal of London 2012 Olympics. You know, maybe they thought that we were going to win loads more, but anyway, it's gold. World beater Katie Taylor triumphs in London. This is Cliona Foley's story in The Independent. Striking a blow for Ireland, the New York Times. Katie Taylor pictured leaping into the air by Barry Birack from the Olympics, the lightweight final women's boxing. It's the New York Times. That's it, I think, is it? Yeah. For the Irish, Katie Taylor is more than a great athlete sprung from the native soil. People speak of her as if she has sprung from themselves, for she seems everyone's sister, their daughter, their friend. That was the piece from the New York Times. Houston Station, on the big screen. Princess Anne shielding her ears from the noise of the boxing, taken by Dara O'Brien. I never saw that, actually. All of Ireland raise a pint for Katie Taylor's gold medal, Russian beatdown, Samuel L. Jackson.
And that should be the clincher right there.
Yeah, so obviously Katie Taylor managed to transcend the sport of boxing.
Well, exactly. And they had everybody in the country on their tiptoes, if you were standing, of course, in Houston, watching it at that point, because the nature of the fight was fairly interesting as well.
Nature of the fight, did she win the fight? No, we're okay now, 8 years on to go, 7 years on. Did she actually win the fight? I'm not sure.
Well, I was watching it on television, and the commentator certainly persuaded me that it was.
Yeah.
I was young and impressionable back
Is this
then.
one of those times where the fixes in on your behalf and you're like, yeah, that's not that corrupt, really?
The London Olympics were probably the last Olympic Games.
Corrupt on our behalf, we don't mind.
Where I had kind of the pure worldview of sport. But I don't know, I think...
When did you start working here?
It was later than that. But perhaps... she actually did win the fight. I would need to watch back and just kind of... it definitely wasn't a robbery, but it was definitely the closest she came to losing, without a shadow of a doubt, during that entire run. And I don't know, it's not really about that. It's about everything else that came with the moment, the hype that she had to carry right into it, the person who played such a role in getting women's boxing into the Olympic Games. And then the pressure she carried, being kind of unbeaten for so long in her own division, and being clearly the leader in that department, and the Olympics being so close to home, a lot of Irish there, as we saw, and the worldwide coverage it got, it did transcend sport for a brief moment. And I think it's nonsense to say that sport transcends itself quite often, because that's often not the case. But on this occasion, I think, for a while anyway, it was this incredible moment for everybody in Ireland, and for a lot of sports lovers around the world as well. So I just think that this is going to go all the way, and I think it's going to win the entire moment of the decade.
Well, I mean, don't ruin the whole next 3 weeks of this segment, Eoin, but way to go. Way to forward sell. The case for Leinster's comeback, let's make that 2011 Heineken Cup final against Northampton. Best game of the decade, perhaps? Right up there. It's 33-22 is the final score. Look at Sexton at the end of it. Look how skinny and scrawny and young he is there. Istanbul-esque. Famously, Sexton makes a speech at half-time, reminding everybody about Istanbul, and this could be their moment to do that. While over in one corner, the forwards are looking at, particularly the front row, are looking at video of why the scrum fell apart. A multitude of things happened in that dressing room at half-time that changed things around. It obviously launches the decade of Johnny Sexton. Probably our best ever provincial team in terms of the actual quality players that they had in the pitch.
Yeah, I like.
Maybe you can make the case that
2018.
An individual team, maybe the one with Rocky Elsom is better, but maybe not, because that's got Sean O'Brien in it, this one.
What's the Rocky Elsom 2012, is it?
09.
09, sorry.
He only had one season.
Yeah. Yeah, that is probably a tad better, and the 2018 one's just a little wrong below that. So, no, it is a great moment. If you're ranking the rugby moments of the decade, though, it's not even number one. I think that we've been through this, I think.
But it's not, we don't need to rank it.
I know we don't, but for it to beat Katie Taylor winning a gold medal in boxing for Ireland for the first time in 20 years, getting a gold medal in that sport, I just think that it's insurmountable in this particular head-to-head. Now, the thing is, if there's going to be one chance of a massive upset in this tournament, it could be this. It just could be this, given Leinster rugby fans who will have travelled to the game, will have been there, and it will have been the happiest moment of their entire decade, because there is nothing like a sporting comeback.
If you put this up against the Ghost goal, this is an amazing sporting moment.
But this would beat the Ghost goal.
This would beat most things.
It's the national element is what's going to win this for Katie Taylor.
Voting is live.
Democracy.
You get to make your own mind up. Round of 16 clash. Katie Taylor's goal versus Leinster's 2011 comeback. Does the top one always win, Tommy? Is that how you've fixed this in the first round there with your little marionette puppet master fixing all the votes? Anyway, you can have your say as we crown Ireland's sporting moment of the last decade. So last night, UCD Professor Paul Rouse spoke about the magnitude of the challenges facing the FAI. Have a look.